Hey everyone, and welcome to a new episode of the Criterion Connection. I'm Wade, and as you can tell, it's just me today this week. Easiest way to explain it, it's been a very busy week for both Joe and I, and we just had to have time to do a lot of the YouTube stuff this week, because we also had Labor Day, some extra work leading up to Labor Day. So, I decided to do a solo one. Also, another reason is because today's episode, if you have not seen, is David Lynch's Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me. This is not the Criterion edition. This is the Twin Peaks, the entire mystery, which is season 1, 2, and Fire Walk with Me, along with the deleted scenes and all that stuff. So that's what I have in this collection. Another main reason why Joe's not here is because Joe has not completed Twin Peaks, the first 2 seasons, and I feel like, and I told people that wanted to get into Twin Peaks that you should watch the show before you watch the first 2 seasons. Now there's the 3rd season, so watch the first 2 seasons and then watch Fire Walk with Me. For a simple reason is it kind of spoil everything for you. So. Also, a little backstory. This came out after the show was canceled. It came out in 1992. David Lynch decided, oh, you know what, I'm just going to make a movie. I think because of all the movies he's made, of all the properties he's made, I feel like this is a property that he loves. I feel like he loves Dale Cooper. He loves Laura Palmer. He loves these characters. So he made this movie, and this movie, if you've seen Twin Peaks, is completely tonally different. And the first 30 minutes is kind of this weird upside down Twin Peaks esque thing where you follow Chet Desmond, who is kind of a drier, not robotic, it's harsh to say robotic, but he's kind of robotic compared to Dale Cooper. He has his forensic guy, played by Kiefer Sutherland, who is kind of the opposite of what Albert is, Michael Farrer's Albert. And they go to this weird sort of Deer Meadow. I believe it's called Deer Meadow. And they go through this weird, the diner's all destroyed, and there's like this flickering back room that's just flickering. The mean, what's her face? The mean waitress, she's like, we had no specials, and you're like, oh. And then there's weird David Lynch moments where, like, he tells Kiefer to check the time, and he spills coffee on him, and there's weird moments where they got the prostitutes in the school bus. It's a weird frame shot because there's a lot of openness behind the school bus. Why is it an open field? It looks like an open field it's in. I'm not sure. But you follow that, and it kind of gives you some lore and stuff like that, and it kind of shows you what the FBI is leading towards the beginning of Twin Peaks, and then the other half is pretty much Laura Palmer. Basically, this is kind of Sheryl Lee's movie. She is not really in the show that much. I mean, Laura Palmer is pretty much the centerpiece of the actual show. She's kind of like this looming thing of the show, and you know, you have Maddie. I guess you can consider Maddie as well as a character, I guess. But yeah, this is really her shining moment. Basically, her and Ray Wise are the movie. Also, you can't forget her name, but she plays the mother. You can't forget about her. Laura Flynn Boyle does not come back as Donna, and so she is played by another actress. I'm not really sure what her name is off the top of my head. And then you also have, return to James Hurley. I mean, gotta love James Hurley. And it's really dark. Like I said, the first 30 minutes is very, like, oh, it's all white. It's like old Twin Peaks. It's like these weird characters. Gordon Cole, and you have Harry Dean Stanton. And then there's this weird stuff with David Bowie, a.k.a. Philip Jeffries. That's really, really weird. Yeah. And also they have the weird introduction to Dale Cooper, which is just a flat angle. He just walks up, I had a dream, Gordon, and stuff like that. But then you go from that to like the Laura Palmer stuff, which is very dark. And it's a character throughout, I mean, if you watch the show, you care for Laura, but I think this movie is the reason you have to, because she's doing all this crazy stuff in the show. Like, you hear about this stuff, and people still love her. People still care about her. And this movie is kind of like explaining why they still do. She did all these terrible things, but this is why they still love her. And she is abused. She puts herself through a lot of things. I mean, Cheryl Lee in general in this movie is... I'm surprised she has not become a bigger actress from this movie, or just in the show. She is one of the best people say scream queens. She could be one of the best ones. Just scenes where she's at the dinner table and her dad has got her hands because she didn't wash her hands. Her face, just turning that emotion. Her looking at that, the fan... Just craziness, and then also the weirdness of David Lynch of the Black Lodge. And this movie was very cut. You could tell that this movie was very cut a lot. It's 2 hours and 15 minutes. It's 2 hours and 15 minutes, and there's 90 minutes of deleted scenes. If you go through the missing pieces, you realize they cut a lot of David Bowie. David Bowie's only been in the movie for probably maybe 2 minutes, 3 minutes, but he has this whole thing with the Black Lodge, talking about the Black Lodge, and you're introduced to a lot of weirdos, a lot of weird characters. You have the magician boy, who is not played by David Lynch's son this time. You have, the man from the other place. You have Bob, of course, and there's so many scenes that are very disturbing. The pink room is a great scene, but it's a very disturbing scene. I mean, Jacques Renault. I mean, do we need to see Laura Palmer and him? Do we need to see that? I guess we do, but there's a lot. I don't want to talk about a lot of the movie because I don't want to get into spoilers. Because, like I said, this kind of follows that she dies. That's the first thing you see in the show, but to see how she gets there is pretty haunting, pretty despair, pretty sad. And also it kind of reveals how she died, and I don't want to spoil it if you've never seen the show. Like I said, if you have not seen the show, watch the show. Then watch this, and then watch the revival, the renewed series to get a good grasp. It's hard to really talk about this movie because knowing that a lot was cut. Like, there's a lot of stuff, like, with Laura with her parents, and it's kind of like... it's like a nice calm before the storm kind of aspect of her life. It's like her as, like, it's her, like, when she's calm, and, everything's kind of good, and then at some point, just everything goes haywire. But we don't get that calm before it just kind of starts, we're starting where the haywire is starting. And it kind of hurts. There's also I see a lot of things they did delete that I understand, like Ed and Norma and Nadine and stuff like that, and a lot of stuff like Shelley, which are just like, we know how Shelley and Leo are. We know there's not much need for that. The only thing I do wish we still had was the Pete scene, the Jack Nance scene, about the 2x4. Great. Also, another thing they added in the movie is don't want to forget to mention is the late Harry Dean Stanton is fantastic in this. The characters are great. What I like about Twin Peaks is like have these characters and they're just very vibrant characters. And what I like about Deer Meadow is it shows the opposite. Mean. Twin Peaks was full of assholes, pretty much. And it makes you appreciate the regular characters. And I feel like this movie makes you appreciate Laura Palmer a lot. And Cheryl Lee as an actress. Yeah, I mean, I can't really talk much more about this movie without spoiling it. I don't want to. So I'd check it out if I were you. If I were to buy, rent, or skip. It's tough. For a Twin Peaks fan, it's a must-own. For a casual fan, there is issues. It's almost, I don't know, it starts off as a different type of movie. It ends in a very weird, dark, more of just depressing. It really just really depressing, and you kind of feel bad for Laura and stuff like that. And it's tough to watch at times. It is tough to watch. But I'd say Twin Peaks fan must own. If you're not a Twin Peaks fan, I'd say rent. See if you like it, I guess. If you don't care about spoilers, because they spoil a lot of stuff. But yeah, let us know in the comment section below what you think about Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me. What is your favorite? You know what? Who's your favorite Twin Peaks character? It could be from anything. It could be from the original series. It could be from this movie. Or it could be from the 3rd season. I mean, come on. Let's not forget about Dougie Jones, right? Am I right? Let us know in the comment section below, please. Also, you know, make suggestions. We still take suggestions. Yeah, just take suggestions. We just accept them all. We're going through them. We're making decisions on what we should do next time. Also, October is Halloween month, so that means we're going to do a lot of spooky Criterion movies that you should comment below. We might have a poll at some point, maybe this week, maybe next week we'll have a poll of you guys can vote on which we should do, which we should take priority on and stuff like that. Yeah. So next week, we are going to do a special movie that I have never seen, but everyone's like, you gotta see it. You gotta see it. Speaking of Harry Dean Stanton, a little movie called Repo Man. So next week I'm going to do not me. Joe's going to be back, and we're going to do Repo Man. I'm excited for it because I've never seen it, and everyone tells me it's up my alley. So we will see. So until next time, you should subscribe down below. Subscribe so you get more of this stuff. Comment, like, share, tell your friends. We want Criterion Connection to get bigger. We want more suggestions. We want more interactions with you guys. So let us know. You know, just share it. Tell your neighbor. Tell your friend. Tell your family. Tell your pastor. Tell anyone. Okay? So I will leave it to that. So until next time.